99.5 FM in Kumasi, affiliate across Ghana's 16 regions. We're on A1 Radio and Dreams FM in Bogatanga, Castle FM in Cape Coast. We're also on Radio Max in Takrady. We're live on X Spaces. We're on Facebook. We're on myjournline.com. The Midday News is sponsored by Petrosol, your clean fuel in full quantity. Petrosol is always a delightful experience. Also brought to you by Duroplus Ghana Limited, producers of quality PVC and HDPE pipes and water tank. We are the only water storage tank with a level indicator where Duroplus goes, water flows. This afternoon, 48 hours after the reopening of the renal dialysis unit of the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, the centre has started accumulating debt as proposals for government subsidy remains unresolved, threatening the sustainability of the services there.
From today, any patient Kolebu dialysis, Kolebu is going to accumulate a debt of another 380 per session, per patient. They need about 961,000 Ghana cedis a month to sustain the dialysis at the current rate. So if we haven't answered this question, what it means is that they are going to run out of consumables.
And as government assures of plans to address the debt issues, the National Health Insurance Authority says it has set up a committee to come up with a long-term solution to renal care.
To come and tell us whether the actuarial studies will sustain funding for renal disease or not. But not to end there, but to come with recommendations on how to take away this out-of-pocket scenario. As a country, I can tell you boldly, if we are committed to, we can pay totally for kidney care.
I'll take you live to Parliament, where the proposed review of the fees and charges is about to get attention. Also this afternoon, a new judge is likely to be assigned by the Chief Justice to preside over the application for confirmation of seizure and freezing of the properties of former Sanitation Minister Cecilia Abnadapa. We have details, and in the Upper West region, jurors have boycotted court proceedings in protest of non-payment of the allowances for the past 2 years.
I don't want to sound as if it is discrimination against the Upper West region, but it is apparent. All the other regions have been paid 2, 3 or 6 months, but nothing for the Upper West region.
Also, the Sege MP has been condemning shooting in Adan that left 2 dead and calls on government to restrain Electrochem Ghana Limited from attacking residents.
Keep restrain Magdan Electrochem Company from all the controversial areas so that we sit down in dialogue for the people to understand. This is what I'm expecting. And look,
we have sports.
Hearts of Oak aim to end 14-game winless run on the road as they face House of Lions in Hohoi.
And much later, his uneducated mother was married off to a stranger at the age of 13. Now, through his after-school program, he's equipping girls in Zango communities with skills so they will not fall victim. We'll hear the story of Joy News impact maker Amadou Mohammed as he says the recognition has projected his work in unimaginable ways. That and more in this afternoon's edition of the Midday News. I am Emefa, Apawu, and this is your home of independent, fearless, and credible journalism. Please stay on for details. Many thanks for your company. This afternoon, Joy News checks reviews at the Renal Centre at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital is accumulating 380 cedi debt on every patient undergoing dialysis treatment at the facility. This, according to managers of the unit, could result in the shutting down of the facility just 48 hours after its reopening if immediate steps are not taken for either government to provide 900,000 cedis monthly subsidy, or the hospital is allowed to charge the new treatment cost of 780 cedis. The facility, which was shut for the past 5 months, was reopened after public outcry, but the debt and sustainability concerns of the centre remain unresolved. Senior lecturer at the University of Ghana Medical School, Dr. Titus Bayo, is worried the unit will not be able to serve patients in need of kidney care if steps are not taken to address the funding problems.
I can promise you that if we don't ask the right question and get the right answer, the opening that Kolebu has declared open now is only going to take us to a state where we are worse off than where we began. What do I mean by worse off? We are going to get to a place where, one, even those who have money cannot get the dialysis. Because if they use up all their consumables because they've been forced to use them. And my information is that from today, any patient Kolebu dialysis, every single patient that pays the old fee of 380, Kolebu is going to accumulate a debt of another 380 per session, per patient.
So the debt has started accumulating again?
Immediately. The CEO mentioned to us that they need about 961,000 Ghana cedis a month to sustain the dialysis at the current rate. This is where that debt comes from. So if we haven't answered this question, what it means is that they are going to run out of consumables. They are not going to get consumables. And now my patient, a pregnant woman who is not having any chronic hypertension, whose only sin she has committed is being pregnant, trying to bring another human being into this world and develop a complication like eclampsia or preeclampsia with acute kidney injury, who is potentially curable. These people are not going to even get the dialysis. So that is how we should see the problem. And then ask the hard questions. How do we get ourselves out of here? And you notice the difficulty with which Kolebu had to open. The instruction had been given. We have asked Kolebu to open, and for quite some time, Kolebu couldn't open simply because the there is not there.
Well, the Center for Democratic Development Fellow on Public Health, Kwame Sapon-Siedu, says a larger part of the Ghanaian population are at a health risk.
If you look at a country where 70% of the population earn less than 3,000 cedis a month, based on the Ghana Statistical Service, it means 90% of Ghanaian workers are priced out of the dialysis market just to stay alive. So, what it means is that if you are listening to us speaking about this matter, and you feel that you have robust kidneys, pray that it doesn't befall you or doesn't befall your family member or distant relative. Because you would have to be part of the network that will cough out that 85,000 cedis every single year. And if you break 85,000 cedis by 12, you'd ask yourself, how many people can afford that and pay their bills, water, electricity, buy fuel for their car, pay their children's school fees? It is not a problem that we should just sit down and paper over the cracks like the government is trying to do and be populist about it.
Well, that's Kwame Sapon-Siedu. We'll be hearing from the Health Ministry PRO, amongst others, on this matter. But thankfully, we've been joined on the phone by a member of the Health Committee, Mohamed Mutaka Mubarak. Yesterday's statement from the Kolebu announcing the reopening also requested that Parliament takes a look or expedites action on their new fees and charges request that they put before them. We're grateful for your time here on the Midday News. So, where does the committee stand, really, on the upward adjustment of the proposed increment for dialysis treatment at Kolebu?
Well, good afternoon to you, to your listeners. And I agree with your the ultimate speaker, why he's saying that it's a problem that we need to look at very holistically. You see, with the 380 fees charge approved, that is currently in operation. Compared to its operation, you have the Catholic Hospital in the CUM, even charging 350. What we should also be asking, yes, I agree, we need to get the dialysis center in Kolebu open as soon as possible for it to function. How did we come that Kolebu could not operate? The committee, when we took the initiative with our leadership in the committee, we realized that Kolebu went and signed an agreement where the dialysis machine was offered by a manufacturer who signed a contract with them that they will be the only people who will provide the consumables to them. And because of that consumable that they are buying from this particular supplier is excessively more expensive than when you are buying it from the open market. The committee demanded that they give us a copy of the contract up to date. Kolebu is not. The question is, why is government sitting down and allowing individual facilities to be able to sign such contract without government involvement? So government should know that as government, we must have a system where no individual facility can go ahead and sign something like this without the Ministry of Health or government knowledge. Because that is what is creating the problem in Kolebu. The danger with everybody that's calling, oh, government, just give money, government, give money. Yes, government can give money. Then cardio center will come up. Then you have all the units, maternity block, then the children's block. Then you don't solve a problem like that. In our view as a committee, yes, when they bring the fees and charges, it is not before Parliament. I have cross-checked in answer this morning, it is not before Parliament. We need to interrogate which whatever contract that Kolebu has signed must be brought, and we must look at the data, because we are not interested in pumping public resources abusively, where people may be sitting there and they will not be using the resources right. Yes, we may agree that over the period since the last fees and charges, because of the dollarization of our system, we are buying these consumables from abroad and what have you. Things might have changed, but it may not necessarily be the amount of money that Kolebu is demanding. If there's waste, we need to look at it. But how do we solve this in holistically? As this the penalty speaker was saying. So others are suggesting that, let's put it on the health insurance fund. Believe me, the health insurance fund is exhausted. It is currently standing on one leg. Anytime you get the formula, just take your time and look at an area where we say support to Ministry of Health. There are over 30 line items, from vaccinations, snake venom, the college of physicians and surgeons, all national ambulance, everything is being hit on the health insurance fund. Yet the government too has also capped the fund. So the fund itself is being overstretched. If you joke, what you are simply going to do is that you put it there and to still not be paid. What we should do is that, which is in the law for the health insurance, Emefa, everywhere in the world where systems run very well, we will all choose to pay premium differently. So those who can pay a certain premium of the health insurance, that may help them get this thing as part of their cover. Others may not, like the indigenous, the aged, the children under 18. Then we think about what to do with the poor.
Well, Mutaka, let me come in briefly here, Mutaka. So the woes of Kolebu Teaching Hospital assistants now, from where you sit, is self-inflicted. As a committee, are you going to recommend at your level for a review of this particular contract, such that we will not need adjustment of the proposed increment for fees, amongst others?
That if they bring the contract, because we said that they should let us see the contract. I would not want to be judgmental. Even without looking at the contract, you assume that it is self-inflicted and it's abusive. We need to look at. But my worry is, why is it taking them so long to get a copy of that contract to the committee? What is it that is making Kwafanochi be able to run? What is it that is making the Catholic hospital in Rekum run? If you go to Kumasi, you have 4 private facilities. What is it making it possible for a private facility to run the services at 500 Ghana cedis?
Okay.
Why are they able to run it at 500 Ghana cedis? Kolebu is telling the whole Ghana that the biggest hospital that we have in our country, they need about 900 Ghana cedis to run. What is it? We need to look at it so that we just don't jump in saying that, provide fund. We need to be mindful about waste in the use of resources.
Okay.
But I don't want to jump the gun to say that they are wasting resources. They should bring the contract for us to look at it. Let's look at it in real detail before we can talk about increasing the fee. Yes, there may be the need to increase the fee. By what percentage?
We're grateful. That's the member of Health Committee of Parliament, Mohammed Mutaka Mubarak there. The issues about a national health insurance scheme also has come up. We can hear from the Chief Executive of the authority, Dr. Bernardo Koboy, who says a 5-member committee has been tasked to advise on the long-term solution.
When the board, National Insurance, our board met the last time, a 5-member committee was set up, or has been set up, to come and tell us whether the actuarial studies will sustain funding for renal disease or not. But not to end there, but to come with recommendations on how to take away this out-of-pocket scenario, which brings serious burden and takes away access. We can, as a country, I can tell you boldly, if we are committed to, we can pay totally for kidney care. There are 3 things we can do. First of all, politically, we've been going back and forth on funding to national insurance. Kenya even pays for kidney transplant. The reason is very simple. 90 to 95% of their funds is directly with them. Number 2, we can put some levy, is referred to elsewhere as sin tax, on some 1 or 2 products which are normally not consumed by the ordinary person, but by people in a particular class. And the inflows from that fund can from that levy can go into a fund, not necessarily with national health insurance. It can be the chronic disease fund or the peripheral disease fund.
That's the Chief Executive of the National Health Insurance Authority, Dr. Bernardo Koboy. We've also been hearing from the Ministry of Health. They say they are taking steps to offset that debt. This is an issue we'll continue to follow for you. We have a track record in that. Now, a new judge is likely to be assigned by the Chief Justice to preside over the application for confirmation of seizure and freezing of the property of former Sanitation Minister Cecilia Abnadapa. The development has arisen because the judge has also been presiding over the case. Justice Edward Chum is scheduled to start his vacation. The High Court judge had a warrant from the Chief Justice to sit during the legal vacation and is now due for his annual leave. The Office of the Special Prosecutor froze the bank accounts of Madam Cecilia Abnadapa and seized some cash sums from the matrimonial home of the former minister weeks ago, but the court is yet to confirm the seizure and freezing of these properties. Richard Kujonyako of our Legal Affairs Desk was in court, joins us in studio with details. So, Richard, was the case called at all, and who were in court, you'd say?
Well, so Emefa, yes, the case was called, and the judge, Justice Edward Chum, invited the two parties to his chambers. In fact, Madam Cecilia Abnadapa, her husband, their lawyer, plus state prosecutors for the Office of the Special Prosecutor were all in court. After some 30 minutes, the parties came back, and our sources within the parties indicated that the judge is scheduled to start his leave, and the case was adjourned to the 29th of November. But Emefa, you know that the OSP had earlier written to the Chief Justice for the judge, Justice Edward Chum, to recuse himself from all its cases, a petition that was not granted by the CJ. So this very petition, as we are aware of, caused some adjournment of the substantive application as the parties waited for a response from the Chief Justice. Meanwhile, while at it, Madam Cecilia Abnadapa, through her lawyers, complained about how the delays are causing some financial hardship to the former minister. In fact, she opined that the OSP was deliberately orchestrating the delay, something she described as an affront to her right to enjoy her properties.
So what then happens to the seize sum of money and the freezing account?
Well, so the freezing of the bank account of Madam Cecilia Abnadapa and the seizure of an amount of $590,000 is still in force. This order of the OSP to freeze and seize the said properties will continue to remain so until the court determines the matter. Remember, the OSP says the properties that have been frozen and the ones that have been seized are suspected tainted properties, for which reason they are investigating the former minister. We also do know that this is the second time the OSP is seeking to do this. The court refused to confirm the earlier order and ordered the OSP to return the seized assets. The reason the court gave for refusing to confirm the earlier one was the OSP failed to meet certain condition precedent.
Okay, Richard Kujonyako there reporting from the court. I'll stay a while longer in the court, this time in the Upper West region, and jurors there for the second time in 3 months have stayed away from the court in protest of delay in paying their sitting allowances. The action by the jurors has granted court proceedings were held as all indictable cases were adjourned to December today. According to the foreman of the jurors, Abdul Hakim Suleimana, stated in an exclusive interview, said they haven't been paid sitting allowance for 2 years and won't be back at the court till the monies are paid.
In July, somewhere in July, we came to the premises of the court to register our displeasure for the court authorities not paying us our allowances from November 2021 up to date. So we are following up on the payment of the allowances to that effect. We are also reliably informed that the Greater Accra branch of the jury members petitioned again, made their cry once again, and unless they were paid. I don't know what is wrong with the system that the Upper West branch of the jury members have not been paid.
Well, let me bring in Rafiq Salam. He's been following this for us. Rafiq, since this particular action or the announcement of this action by the jurors, has any decision been taken? Have they been paid now, or the situation is the same?
They have been paid according to them for close to 2 years now. They have done everything to get this money paid, but it appears that they have not been needed to. And so they are saying that as much as they haven't been able to settle these certain allowances, they stay away from the court.
Well, let's talk about the impact on cases because of this protest. You've been speaking to some lawyers. What are their concerns?
Their concern is that at least it has granted, proceedings of court talking about indictable offences to a halt. Today, for example, as many as 3 cases that were supposed to be tried today has to be adjourned to December. So now let's listen to Principal State Attorney, Lawyer Shahid Abdul Sakur.
Actually struggling, and we need the government to come to our aid. For the whole of last year, we could not complete any criminal case that is tried on indictment, the jurors are on strike. All the murder cases that have piled up here, all the rape cases are here. We're in court, but we cannot try. We can't try without.
I'll take you now to the diary, and Sege MP Christian Kolete Otute has condemned the shooting incidents that took place in Toflokbo, resulting in the tragic deaths of 2 individuals and injuries to others. The Ada West District Assembly attributed the incident to the ongoing tensions between salt mining company Electrochem Ghana Limited and the local salt miners. According to the Assembly, the tension escalated when security personnel from Electrochem allegedly launched an attack on the native salt miners who they claim had encroached on their land. In the regrettable turn of events, the district chief executive Samson Bang attempted to mediate between the feuding factions but ended up being physically assaulted. Electrochem has denied any involvement in the fatal shootings.
So what happened yesterday was we went to their normal duty, and then where we were supposed to work, some people have laid police over there, and those police are supposed to be removed so that we can continue working. In the time of removing the police, and then some community people came there in their numbers, and then of course have different verbal talks with the security system, start throwing stones and things. So that's what happened. But I think there's a land guard among Electrochem, or Electrochem has engaged land guard. We don't use land guard as Electrochem. We have certified security personnel, which if you want, you can call them our Electrochem task force. With the police, it is only the police that have a weapon, and the police have not even given one shot over there as even a warning shot. No. So it is surprising that whatever happened is that Electrochem have.
That's Nisiada, is the PRO for Electrochem. My colleague Carlos Caloni is on the ground in the community for an update. He gives us an update on the situation live. Carlos, I presume that calm has been restored in the area. You've been also trying to make contact with the injured DCE and other individuals affected by the violence. What's their current state, you'd say?
Exactly. Calm has been restored here in the Toflokbo community. But Emefa, I can tell you that residents here are living in fear. On our way to the community, we actually saw about 3 residents living with their bags in a tricycle, and we spoke to them, and they said because of the security situation in the community, they cannot guarantee their safety in the night, so they are living. And so I have with me a sister to the disease to speak to us about what really happened and what they are expecting the authorities to do. So what really happened to your brother, and then what is your expectation?
Actually, on Monday, we were home. When we heard that Electrochem people are our people working on Songalago, and my brother said he was going to see what is happening over there. We were home when we had a call that my brother just got shot and he died. He was lying in a cold blood. In fact, when we went there, we couldn't even believe it. We don't know what is happening. Ghana, Nana Adodoko Akufo-Addo, what are you doing? What are you doing? We voted for you. People say we are adults, we don't vote for NPP. This time we vote for NPP. What are you doing? We need you. We need you to come to our aid. My brother has children. He has a mother and a father. They are old, about 80 years plus. Who is taking care of those people? The family. I mean, the children.
Well, a resident there interacting with my colleague Carlos Caloni at Toflokbo. Well, in the midst of all this, the Member of Parliament for Sege Christian Kolete Otute is unhappy. He's calling on government to intervene and compel Electrochem Ghana Limited to exercise restraint while issues between the company and the local community are properly resolved. He's also expressed disappointment in the police for their perceived failure to maintain order in the area.
Our police force, when did it become normal for them to operate with ordinary security men in such operation or whatever? That is one of the things that...
Are you saying that the police is compromised in this situation?
That's compromised beyond description. As when they come together with these blank guys, the people the guys are calling, they're not like they are ordinary security men of Electrochem.
Well, that's the MP for Sege taking us on a quick break here on the Midday News live on Joy 99.7 FM in Accra and Kumasi. We're on Love 99.5 FM affiliates across Ghana's 16 regions. We are live on X Spaces. We're on Facebook. We're on myjoyonline.com. The Midday News is proudly sponsored by Petrosol, your clean fuel in full quantity. Petrosol is always a delightful experience. Also brought to you by Duraplus Ghana Limited, producers of quality PVC and HDPE pipes and water tank. We are the only water storage tank with a level indicator. Where Duraplus goes, water flows. We return from the break with sport. And then also his uneducated mother was married off to a stranger at the age of 13. Now through his after-school program, he's equipping girls in Zango communities with skills so they will not fall victim. You want to stay for that.
When budgets are tight and money difficult to come by, you want to be sure you get the best value for your money. These are not times to be spending money fixing expensive engine problems because of cheap fuel and lubricants. Drive to a Petrosol station today and buy your quality fuel and lubricants, and rest assured of fuel that lasts long and lubricants that prevent expensive engine problems. Hear the sound. Petrosol, clean fuel in full quantity.
Imagine say water wake up at dawn. E no bath, e no chop. When it vanish for your area for 2 weeks, you no get one drop safe inside your tank.
Hey.
Hajia, our life was in dangerous. Only our neighbor get water with water tank.
Water tank?
Yes, water tank. Mamma mia, that water tank get meter for checking water level. That water tank be fine past Kumasi Selenium. That water tank be tough like Ghana Army. That water tank, they carry water pepe, so say some no go left inside the supply tank. What a tank! As my boss, Mr. Poncho, go talk.
Beautiful, durable, with water level indicator and accurate volume of water. Water tank. What a tank! By Duraplast.
Thanks for staying with us. Let's do sports.
Thank you very much, Emefa. An outstanding fixture in the Ghana Premier League today, and it's Hearts of Oak. They travel to Hohoi, where they'll battle Hearts of Lions in pursuit of 3 points. Now, the challenge is daunting for the Phobians as they haven't secured an away victory in their last 14 matches, a run they are eager to end. There's Champions League football tonight as well, and Denmark is the center of attention as Manchester United face Copenhagen, a must-win game for the Red Devils to boost their chances of making it to the last 16. Eric Ten Hag is their manager.
We have to do things better. That we are aware of that. Because you have to lift the performance if you want to get the result in. We're looking forward, and this team is experienced and hostile. And so, for instance, last year Barcelona, and we can get good performances and we can get good results. We know that.
The game is at 8 p.m. and we've got live commentary for you, Emefa.
Thank you very much, Mubarak. I'll take you to Parliament now, where VRA officials have accompanied the Energy Minister, Dr. Matthew Poku-Prempeh, to the House, with the Minister expected to deliver a statement on the Akosombo Dam spillage and its attendant flooding. Correspondent Kwekwa Santi joins us live with details. Kwekwa, what can you report?
Well, the Minister just started a statement, but he's making an assurance that the victims will be restored to their old life, and in fact, some resources have been mobilized. That is a direct response to Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, who has spoken about government's reluctance in speaking to resettlement issues. Of course, he has not gone into details. That is the expectation. There will be some questions that will follow after his presentation, but the minister says that they could do what they have to do, but there was no way the spillage would not have had this impact, because the kind of water that had was simply too much, and they could not keep it in the dam.
That's my colleague Kwekwa Santi there, and we're also told that the budget statement will now be presented on the 15th of November. Now, his uneducated mother was married off to a stranger at the age of 13. That event, which happened many years ago, inspired him to establish an after-school program to equip schools in Zango communities with skills so they will not become victims. That's the story of Joy News Impact maker and founder of Achievers Ghana, Amadou Mohammed. Maxo Agwagba has more.
It is just a few minutes past midday, and I find myself in a one-story building nestled in the heart of Mamubi. This unassuming space serves as a classroom, the center of knowledge for Achievers Ghana. A group of dedicated volunteers from various tertiary institutions are leading the class, inspired by the teachings of Amadou Mohammed. I've met the man behind Achievers Ghana, Amadou Mohammed.
My mother has never been to school. She's a Kayayu, who head port in Accra, and then she has 7 children, and I'm the only one that she sent to school. She's a victim of early enforced marriage. Yeah, she's a victim. She was married at the age of 13, and then in a situation, it's like she doesn't even know my father, and she doesn't even know that she's even getting married at this particular day. All that she knows is that she was asked that there's marriage going on, and in the evening she's going to be taken toward her husband. She doesn't know my father.
Aziz Ali Al Hassan benefited from Achievers Ghana. Now he is a level 100 BSc Information Technology student at the University of Cape Coast. School is on vacation and is here teaching the children basic robotics and electronics.
Where we find ourselves, we don't have like role models who maybe we can say, oh, maybe this person came from here, so at least I can also get there. And even most of the people who even make it from the communities, they end up like leaving the community, so no one, like the kids coming up, they don't see, oh, so this person really grew up from here and this is where the person has gotten, so at least I can also do some. It's a way of like encouraging them.
That's it for the midday news for today. There's more when you log on to myjoyonline.com. We have Living Word with Pastor Mensah Otabil up next. I am Emefa.